Hello everyone. Alobe Minglaba. I am standing next to the national flower of Chinland. I and the rhododendron, the national flower of Chinland, say hello to all of you. Dear my beloved Chin people of Indiana, a respected leader of Chin community of Indiana, CCI, leaders of Chin Baptist churches of USA, and Burma advocacy groups of USA, and Honorable Senator Tong Yon, Honorable Governor, and all officials of Indiana, Minglaba to you all. Hello from the land of rhododendron. Thank you for inviting me today in these very special occasions of the 75th anniversary of Chin National Day. Thank you for all your efforts to make Indiana as a twin state to Chin state in Myanmar, based on our shared federal democratic values and principles. Thank you also for your efforts to include Burma Act into the NDAA of USA. Thank you for your leadership at UN Security Council on resolutions regarding the situation in Myanmar. Thank you for your support for the people of Myanmar and Myanmar refugees, IDPs, PDF, CDF, EROs, the NUCC, NUG, and CRPH. Thank you for your all solidarity with the brave people of Myanmar in this darkest moment in our history. As your predecessors, the founding fathers always stood strong for the federal democratic values and principles in which they believe. The brave people of Myanmar are committed to those same federal democratic values and principles and remain firm and unshakable in their resolve, despite of 75 years of oppression by the brutal dictatorship in Myanmar. The 75th anniversary of Chin National Day has everything to do with the 76th anniversary of Palau Agreement, which was a historical agreement that lays to the Burma's independence from Britain. In fact, Chin's National Day was supposed to mark the implementation of the Palau Agreement, which was based on federal democratic values and principles. 75 years ago, if the Palau Agreement had been implemented in Chin State could have become a flourishing state in Myanmar, just as Indiana is flourishing state in USA. Chin State could have been a vibrant and prosperous and peace as Hong Kong or Singapore are today. But the 75 years of failure to implement of Palau Agreement had left Chin State broken, weak, and desperate. The victims of 3/4 of a century of military operations, and now officially Chin State become the poorest state in Myanmar, where conditions are gradually worsening to those of North Korea. Dear friends, in fact, the 75th anniversary of Chin National Day is supposed to be marking the 75 years of the fulfillment of the promise of self-administration, self-determination, and political autonomy for the Chin people. But sadly, we are marking today 75 years of oppression, attack on our federal democratic principles and values by the most brutal, repressive dictatorship in the world. Before British rule for centuries in the Chin peoples enjoyed self-determination, self-administration, and political autonomy. We have had our own kings. We have had our own royal family. We have never ruled by an outside power. But due to the 75 years of oppression by the horrific dictatorship in the world, the Chin people have not only lost their self-determination, self-administration, and political autonomy, but have also suffered genocidal attack from successive brutal military dictatorships. Despite these genocidal attacks, our ancestors fought hard for freedom and federal democracy, which were lost completely under the reign of terror carried out by the brutal military dictators. Today, I would like to make this opportunity to pay my respect to our ancestors for their bravery and courage. We salute them. Again, our ancestors passed on this noble duty to retake our freedom, for which we have fought and struggled as a people for the last 75 years. We cannot afford to fail our ancestors in this undertaking. Today, I would also like to take this opportunity to salute our brave men and women who are holding the front lines of freedom and faith, who are risking their life every day in the fight for freedom and federal democracy in Chile and in Myanmar. We salute our heroes. This revolution of Myanmar is being fought not only for our generation, but for our children and grandchildren and many generations to come, so that they might live in freedom and justice and peace and prosperity. The battle of this revolution is heavy, but dear friends, freedom is worth of the sacrifice. The last 24 months alone, the genocidal military have attacked the people of Burma. More than 9,000 attacks carried out. In that 9,000 attacks, more than 3,000 civilians have been killed. More than 40,000 unarmed civilians, including our elected President U Mint, our leader, Aung San Suu Kyi, were illegally detained. More than 55,000 of homes and churches, monasteries, schools, more than 1.6 million of people are being homeless. It's all man-made disasters. Dear friends, more than 17 million of people are desperate for humanitarian assistance. That means 1 in every 3 persons in Burma are now starving. This is the same cause that the brave people of Ukraine are fighting. In fact, the Myanmar crisis is ASEAN-Ukraine crisis. Therefore, we are united with our Ukrainians, brothers and sisters, in a struggle for freedom and democracy, not just only for Burma and Ukraine, but for the world. We are fighting in ASEAN continent. And the brave people of Ukraine are fighting Europeans. Therefore, we are united with our brothers and sisters in freedom, in the struggle for democracy. The brave people of Myanmar and the brave people of Ukraine will prevail. Dear respected leaders, Honorable Senator Toyant, Honorable Governor officials, my beloved people, in order to accomplish this mission to root out the brutal, oppressive military dictatorship and to begin building a new state of Chinland, a new federal democratic union of Myanmar, we need your continued help, prayers and support, and above all, action to push for the immediate and inclusive implementations of the 8 points of Burma Act of NDAA, and the 10 points of UN Security Council's resolution in Myanmar, and the 5 points of ASEAN consensus. If international community fail to implement these 23 points on the ground in Myanmar, we will see a return to the failure of the implementation of the Bloc Agreement 75 years ago, a failure that Myanmar cannot afford. My dear friends, my brothers and my sisters, let us be very clear that the future of Chinland is in the hands of the Chin people. The future of the Chin people depends on the Chin people's fate, our hope for the future, and our commitment and prayer to Almighty God. If possible, please take 1 hour of your 24 hours a day to commit yourself to Almighty God in prayer for seeking God's kingdom and His righteousness. You know what's happening in Absari University of United States of America. We need to see the same revival in Chin State across Myanmar among our Generation Z. Dear friends, the greater our commitment and the stronger our trust in God, the sooner we will see the glorious future that God has planned, which await us all. Dear friends, I hope and pray that Indiana will fully become a twin state for the future Federal Democratic Chin State of Myanmar. And I hope and pray that the 8 points of the Burma Act of NDAA, the 10 points of UN Security Council resolution in Myanmar, and the 5 points of ASEAN Consensus on Myanmar will immediately be implemented on the ground in Myanmar. I hope and pray that we will soon end the 75 years of oppression, 75 years of pain, and 75 years of suffering, death, and destruction. I hope and pray that the dream of Chilean will become a reality sooner rather than later. I hope and pray that we will soon see a free Myanmar, a free Chinland, a new Myanmar of federal democracy for all her people, regardless of race, religious, gender, language, color, culture, ethnicities, and background, so that we may make this world a better place for all. May God bless Myanmar, may God bless USA, may God bless you. Myanmar Spring Revolution will prevail. The people of Myanmar will prevail. အရေးတော်ပုံအောင်ရမည် အရေးတော်ပုံအောင်နေပြီ